everyone, looks like we are live right now. Let me see if it's working. I don't know if you all can hear me. Yes, I think we are live. So let me go ahead and send the code to everybody. And it'll just take one quick moment here. Let's see. I am going to be right back. Let's see. Actually, I'll stay here and hopefully you guys will catch up, I hope. A little bit of technical difficulties, trying to do something different. And sometimes when you do that, you have technical difficulties. So I'm kind of dealing with that right now. But let's see what we can do. I'm just going to get the URL and email everybody. Hey Steve, you're there. How are you, sir? I'm just going to send an email to everybody. It'll just be a quick moment. Okay, I'm just going to fix Facebook real quick, and I'll be right with everybody. Let's see. Okay, so we are definitely live again, and you guys can hear me. Yes, I think we're good. We're up and running, and we have a really good view of the painting. So I'm using my DSLR, and we'll see how this goes. The sound, I'm going to move the sound as close to me as possible, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, so let's see. Okay, I have my reference off to the side, and so here I am, and so here goes. I can't see the, well, yeah, I won't be able to see the comments, so I do apologize, but I will every so often walk over to the comment section, alright? Because now, since I'm getting deeper into the pastel painting, I have to get a little more involved, so I won't be able to, I'm actually on my easel. I'm finding out in pastel, it's being on the tabletop just doesn't cut it, right? So we're just going to start working. And right now I'm just going to start coming in with some of these rich kind of earth tones over here, especially under the chin. Let's see, right here we have a really beautiful earth tone. So when you're painting a portrait in the face, you never have a solid black. It's always red or a reddish color because you're working with flesh, right? And when you're working with flesh, there's blood. So even in the darkest areas, it might look like it's black, but it won't look good until there's some red in there. So look at any of the great painters, you're going to see when they're doing that, it is basically not black, but red and black. There we go. So you see, by coming in and enriching those darks with the red, it really makes a big difference. A huge difference, actually. And let's see, so we have Clutch Pyro, Mr. Patrick, good to see you. And we have Steve Lang, thanks for making it back. And Jazz, how you doing? So cool you're here. And Mr. Nameless, how you doing? So that is cool. Let me see if I can get my iPad. So this way I will be able to see your messages. I'll just put it over to the side here. Let's see. The temperatures are going down like 20 degrees this evening here in New York. Okay, so now I could see your comments. And I just got to figure out where to put this so I can see those comments. There we go. Okay. So, I'm going to put the fan on me. There we go. All right. So basically it's a pastel demonstration going a little further into the painting. And now I'm just going to be working on more detail area. So looking at her eyebrows, I can see there's kind of this grayish negative value over here, right? So I'm going to be looking for that grayish negative value. So I'm just going to take one of my triangles and I'm just going to cut it. And then I'm going to be looking for that kind of warmish gray color. And I'm going to start putting in some of these negative shapes here in her eyebrow. I might as well start, right? Just like so. So I'm adding gray with a little bit of like a flesh color to it. And you see, sometimes you might not have a sharp enough angle, sharp enough point. So I'm going to make a sharp point. And then I'll pick this up off of my palette. Doesn't have to be perfect, You're just basically establishing shapes right now. So everybody can hear me pretty well and see everything pretty well? Then let's see what we can do on this side. We have a lot more negative shapes, but it's more of a fleshy color. So I might just come in with a pastel pencil and do it that way. So let's see. I'm going to look for a pastel pencil in this case. So right now I'm going to look for this color right here. It's a Pit Pastel 1122-189. And see right here, we see a lot of, maybe even a little bit lighter. We'll come in with this yellowish color here. If I can grab the little bugger. Or I'll just come in with the white. Let's see this color first. Yes. See, now we're cooking with gas now. We can start getting some of the negative shapes that are in the eyebrow. Now in pastel on wood, you do have the ability to do scratching techniques. I just don't want to do that right now. And since I have this yellow color, it could work a little bit and just over. Oh, going the wrong way. Let's see. Bring some light here, some luminosity in these shadows here. And they're very, very soft. But I'm not always blending. Sometimes I'm just going to put a value next to it and let it blend that way. So Nameless said, why did I choose such an awkward way to paint? You mean like the YouTube setup? Because right now it's sort of, what I'm doing is making it so you guys can see it. You know, it's much more comfortable when I'm painting without the camera, of course. Oh no, using the pole is great. It's a mole stick, and basically it enables me to go ahead and steady my hand. And this is an ancient painting technique that is passed down from generation to generation of classical painters. I want to get the crease of that eye. You see how that's a crease? I'm going to come over here. But what's interesting is I'm going to bring this light over. But there's definitely turning into a pink, right? So there's a pink transition coming up. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to add some pink here. Oh, yes. Well, this is how I'm trained, you know. In art school, we're trained to have it at a 90-degree angle. And so this is like most comfortable to me when I'm painting in pastel. Airbrush is different, but I was painting many years in pastel before YouTube came along. So it doesn't matter, you know, how I painted in airbrush, but this I have a lot of water under the bridge, so to speak. So it's much easier to go back to just painting with the easel. So that's why I decided, you know, rather than try and, you know, make do, you know, painting on a vertical surface like that or horizontal surface, I'm gonna have to do my pastel live streams this way, right? Hey John, how you doing? Yes, they're very uncommon these days, so true. It's just a very old-fashioned classical painting thing. Okay, so now's a good time to go in and let's work on some areas on her eyes there. So there's a lot of bluish gray right in her eye, and let's see if we can put that in. Maybe I can blow it up, I don't know, we'll see. We'll give it a shot. Let's see if that does anything. Nope. Let's try this. Oh, there we go. That really blows it up, though. To the point where I can't see anything. But let me see if I could lift it up this way. Let's see. I'm going to try and blow this up so you can see me working on the eye. There we go. Oh, a little too far. There we go. Okay, let's see how this goes. So I'm just taking this kind of bluish gray color and I'm going to put that right on her eye here. See, because there is, you know, a lot of different colors that are in the eye right there. And then what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and pull out some of the lighter color that's in the white of her eye, very close to the iris. So let's make that happen. Okay, cutting a new triangle. And let's see how this goes. It's just a little bit lighter right here. See that? And then right here, that gray of the eye is a little richer, a little darker. So I'm going to go ahead and try and nail that. Let's see how it goes. this nice, rich, kind of reddish brown, kind of hovering over here. So even though everything's a dark value, they are different colors, different chromatic elements. Hey, how you doing? Orit and Jewel, great to see you. How are you? So I'm so glad you're here. And JC, Jesus, how's it going? And I'm just going ahead and pulling that over. Just like so. So now, what's interesting is there's this little blast of white light, which I really love. And that's going to really kind of make the portrait in a sense. Just not really make the portrait, but one element that's really going to make that pop, you know? Wow, so you're going to film 5 videos. That's amazing and inspiring. Oh man, I can't wait to hear more about this. See that little bit of light right there? Just give some life to her eye. And now, since I have white, I can actually glaze the white over. See how I can just sort of glaze it to get, and then I could blend that in, but I don't have to. I can actually mix that color on the palette, which is probably the best way to go. It's kind of a peachy color. So I can just bring this over. Hey Willie, how you doing? Great to see you. And we have, oh hey Roy, how's it going? Good to see you, sir. And John says the skin texture looks great. I appreciate that, sir. Just bringing this. She has heavy eyelids, right? So we want to make sure we show that. And then I'm going to come in with this kind of rich peachy color here. Do this bottom eyelid here. See how that comes up. And right here, although I have it as white, it really is peach here. I'll just bring this peach right up to, that looks better. And of course I'm going to be doing more with her eye there, but that's a good start. But then we can come in, remember the white that we had, and I could just come over here and just add a blast of white that is in the same line as the catch light. Because remember, light goes in straight lines. Let's see. Get this right. Then I can blend this out. But I wanted to have a nice, strong, adjacent value to that. There we go. Okay, so what we do with one eye, we're always going to do with the other. So now I'm just going to look at my camera We'll work on this eye. And let's see what we can do. Going right back to the that kind of gray, you know, that warm gray color that's in the iris, right? Let's see if we can go ahead and do that. I always have my scissors next to me because I'm always cutting the triangles, right? So we'll go ahead and cut that triangle. Hey Mike DeLoach, how are you today? Oh, that's okay, you know. It's not what we did in the past, it's what we do now. So don't worry about what you didn't do. Just be excited about the art you will do. And just have fun, right? Just enjoy yourself. So I'm coming in with that gray over here. And what that's telling me is like, yeah, that is the gray I want. However, that's not rich enough as far as the really rich browns and oxides that are in her eye, right? In her iris. So let's go ahead and put that in. And hey Patty, how you doing? Great to see you in tone. So glad everyone is here. That is so great. It's so funny when I'm painting in pastels, I don't need my glasses as though when I'm painting in Airbrush. Don't understand it, but that's what goes on. And as you can see how I could really get the richness of her eye. And there's a little bit of yellow that's right on the bottom of the iris, such sort of like a reflected light. Let me just put that in here. See that? Just a little bit. Bring this down. And then we can come in with the black, and we do have a black pastel pencil which works wonders if I can find it. Bam, I found it. How about that? And let's reiterate her pupil. And I'll be painting this pupil many, many times before I'm done. Okay, so now I can see that, you know, even though this is the lower eyelids over here, we just can't say it's black because that's half the story. But, you know, like when you have the face, you'll notice that there's no black in the face because blood is everywhere, in the eyelids, the nose, everywhere. So we're going to add a bit of a flesh color. And the flesh color we're going to add is this color with a little bit of black added to it. And maybe some of this brown here, and I'll play with it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut myself a new triangle. Well, an old triangle, but just cutting a fresh point there. So let's see, we have this. Let's see how this works. And I'm just going to dab and run, right? No more than 3 strokes. But you see, I'm just adding some life to the black, right? And she's not a cartoon. So you have to put color everywhere. So I'm not saying I use black all the time. I'm not one of those people who say don't use black. I say use black as much as you can because it's a great color, and it's great to mix black with everything. So that's just me, but you don't want to have a strictly black color in your portrait painting. Just like you don't really want too much when you're working in color, you don't want anything pure white. John Augusto Dominiganga said that you want to use white as sparingly as blue. So he was serious about that. And so let's see. That's true, you're painting hues of light, definitely. JC says, oh man, Willie, rub it like China. Oh, I don't know what you guys are saying. Hey, Mr. John Payne, how you doing? Great to see you. Oh, that's okay. We had technical difficulties early, everybody. It was not easy, but we got through it. I have a new camera set up just for pastels. It's going to be pretty much the pastel format because it's going to have to be different. See how much more life there is? I'm even going to incorporate a little more of this color over here. Now there's much more life in that area, right? You can feel the blood. Ooh, that sounds gruesome. You know, I mean, we all have it, you know, but yeah, it does sound kind of gruesome. Just come over here, and this is more pinkish. So we're gonna make sure we put a beautiful pink right in here. So as you can see, when I work in color, it's a lot of the different methods that I use in Airbrush are the same, but you can still see there's a different approach, right? It's not the same approach. There's definitely differences. There's more similarities and differences, but there are differences nonetheless. So we have this real beautiful white color under here. Just come in here. So I want this kind of edge here. And just like before, I could come in with that white pastel pencil. And you see here is the catch light, which is the light coming from the key light or the main light that the photography had in his studio. I'm going to make sure that the light is part of the eyelid matches the key light. Remember, light travels in straight lines. And let's zoom out, shall we? Let's see. There we go. All right, and do I have to lighten it? No, I kind of like that. Okay. And let's zoom out and see where it is we could work on next. And you can see how I'm building up the values slowly, but still now I'm adding colors with a little more pizzazz, right? Over here it's a little bit lighter. So I'm going to come in with a light value, so I'm going to mix it on the palette. And I'm going to be mixing some Naples yellow and some white. And of course, a little bit of pink, just a tad. And I'm going to be getting a piece of foam, not the foam core. And I'm just going to cut a triangle. And let me mix this over here. Mix these colors together. And now I'll come down here. If I want to cover, I'm not going to do anything more than 3 strokes. See that? Just 3 strokes. And you see where I made that little bit of an error? So if I was working in digital art, it would be Control Z. But since I don't have Control Z in the real world, I'll just tap that. How many people wish they had Control Z in life? A lot of times in paintings there's these pathways of values. And right here I see this kind of pathway and value here. Yes, Control Z. Tone says he has no Wi-Fi in the building, but he's been catching video when he can remember to turn on the camera. Oh, cool. So you get video on your camera? I mean, you get Wi-Fi on your camera? And then we have this pathway of light down here. And there's this beautiful light right here around the wing of her nostril. Beautiful light. I love it. But the only thing that makes that light stand out is what? Is a value that is dark. So it won't stand out if there's no dark value next to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with this pink. And we're just going to hit this value very lightly. Right here, so we can pull that out. Just like so. And then we have this muscle that's coming below. So this is a muscle over here. So that's why we have a little different value here. Okay, so now we have that, and then we can work in this light area again. Sort of bring this down. Notice I'm not like, doodling or noodling. I'm just sort of hitting and moving. You want to be applying pastel and then moving. You don't want to rub it into the surface where it all becomes this mixed mud. And then where I see this light color that I just put in, this Naples yellow, pink and white, if I see it echoed somewhere else, I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Right here in Cupid's bow. You can put that there. And then right here on the side of the chin, right here. Oh, JC asks, what's that term for the rod? Oh, yes. Thanks, Steve. It is a mole stick. I appreciate that. So you see this side of the chin is hitting the light, right? So we want to make sure that we put that in. Then we're going to come back in with that pinkish color that we were using before. I'm going to make sure that put that in. It's a little too strong, so let me just weaken it up a bit. See, the thing is, when you're painting in color, you don't worry too much, you know, if everything is not perfect right now. You kind of arrive at where you want to be. And I think that's important, to have that kind of attitude when you're painting in color. So, Tone says, can you pull off the color in this medium as you can in Airbrush? When you say pull off, could you, explain exactly what you mean there, Mr. Tone? I see some pinks over here. I'm just gonna do a couple of pink brush strokes right here. You can be much more bold and make, strong decisions with color. And I think that's really nice. So I like that. You don't have to make every decision right away. Oh, like eraser technique, definitely. Everything you can do, as long as you're working with the right surface, like I am, which is masonite, and then I covered it with gesso and my marble dust mixture. And you can do eraser techniques just like, in Airbrush. But the thing is, you're so much freer with color in pastel than anyone could ever be in Airbrush. Airbrush just is so very temperamental, and you have to really plan everything. Here you can just relax and find the color, and to me I love that. See how I can come in with this kind of orangey color right now and just have fun. The foundation and eye makeup. It's interesting. But a lot of women painters who, you know, do makeup their whole life, they do have an advantage. And one of them is just, you know, putting on makeup their whole life, knowing about foundation and the colors of the makeup. That's a real advantage. I'm going to reiterate that orange color. I kind of want to be a little stronger with the orange here, because I can. Kind of gives more life. I can just glaze that. And then there's this beautiful orange down here. Patty says her phone is going to die. Hopefully we'll be home soon. Oh, okay. Take care, all right? Patty, be careful driving. And so Tone says he hasn't tried the pastel stuff since he was a kid. And he hates getting his hand dirty, believe it or not. Yeah, but this is only pastels. And the thing is, with pastel, it cleans up with a baby wipe. See, when I'm painting in pastel, I'm working as an oil painter would. I'm a trained oil painter for like 6 years. I was trained in New York City as an oil painter from some of the top oil painters of the time, basically specializing in portraits and whatnot. I want a little more luminosity over here. I'm just gonna put some orange right there on top of this. And right here it's a little dark, right? So let's see. We're going to get a fresh triangle and just cut a fresh corner here. What I want to do is I want to lighten this area up a little bit, so I'm going to look at that color and really study it. And it's kind of an orangey peach color, but it's a light value. And let's see if I could hit that pretty well. I kind of like it. Little transition-y color here. And it just kind of comes down. And over. And now I'm going to kind of bring in that light color that I had and see if I can find that particular triangle. See if we can just blend that in a little bit. Now at this point, I wouldn't be using a stump, right? You know, I'm not a stump, or I wouldn't be using one of the packing peanuts, because rather than just blend them in, I want to see the border between that lighter color and that mid-tony color. See, I want to catch this borders here. And then I could move back and, you know, move the other color into the border as well. And let's say, Tony, after that mural, you changed his mind. You may change your mind. He bet you get all over your clothes. That's true. Nameless says, cleanup is so easy. You can just lick your fingers clean and let it taste a little ashy. And hey, how you doing? Lupe, it's so great to see you. How's everything? The Cookie Couture channel. I'm so glad you're here. What a nice surprise. And Tone says it's expensive. I already have an expensive addition to Airbrush. It's not expensive to get started, but you'll be buying pastels over and over again. JC says 180 will get you 2 sets of pastels. Very true. John says he nearly bought a mold stick for airbrushing. It would be almost impossible for airbrushing. I'm going to go ahead and change my battery, so we may lose a little bit of power for a few seconds, but let's see. All right, so let's deal. Be right back, my friend. I'm just going to turn this off. So we're still here. It's just my battery was dying, and I'm putting in a battery that has half-life. So we'll see how this goes, my friends. Just got to put it back on the tripod and turn it on, and we should be in good shape. Hopefully we're back. Yes, we are back, but now it's all over the place. There we go. See if I can move this a little closer. There we go. Okay, now let's focus. Focus, Tim. Okay, we're in good shape. All right, we're back. So some limitations to the pastel setup as opposed to the other setup. Let me see if I can lighten this value just a little bit. There we go. That looks a little better maybe. Yeah, that's good. All right, cool. Yeah, pastels is something you build over time, so you don't have to do it all in one year. You're going to build your pastel set as you get more and more involved in the medium. Hey Colette, where are you? Someone said, hello Colette. I don't see Colette. Where is Colette? I see John. Oh Colette, there you are. How are you? Good to see you. And let's come in with this really nice, rich, dark color underneath her chin. Oh, I heard my cat. Let's bring this over. It's a little high in value, but high in chromatic value, but I'll calm that down. And of course, now that I look at it, it kind of ebb and flows, right? So there's this lighter value that comes from the chin, and we see that it kind of comes in here. It's not one straight line. That's why you don't want to use blending tools except in the beginning, because when you get further you want to really see those borders, right? You want to catch those borders. You don't want to just blend everything in without really paying attention to how those different colors and values kind of interweave with one another. And just enjoy the process, main thing. This beautiful kind of wispy gray color, warm gray color comes out from her lips here. And that same wispy gray color you'll see coming on this side of her lips here. And as this comes down, kind of connects with this shape right here. But when it's a shape, it's kind of a hollow shape because there's a lot going on in there. There's this kind of light yellowish color. So you can do a lot of different things with pastel that you can never do with another medium. You can go from, you know, working like I was to just like a stippling effect to go in there and get, uh-oh, my battery is dying. So we're at 9:11. So when the battery dies is pretty much when the live stream is over. So I gave you guys extra time because of all the technical things. I'm going to try and keep this going for as long as I can. There's some beautiful yellows that I do see. And where I see yellows, I'm going to put yellow. Where I see pink, I'm going to put pink. It's a great thing about pastel. You're so free to put any color you want. You know, of course you have to do, you know, surface management. You can't just load pastel on. But when you see like a beautiful yellow color, you can go ahead and just put that in. Just like that. Nothing's stopping you. Let's see if I can lighten this just one value. There. Just bring this down. Over here, it's a little rough on the edges here. So just soften this a little bit. So are you all digging the pastel live streams? You guys enjoy it? Let me know if it's something that you guys, you know, really enjoy. You can see I'm also working very subtly on the different sides of her nose. Hey JC, have a great night, sir. Oh, okay, so this is just the stick. I'm leaning this on my easel, and I'm just applying it like so. Hey kitty, my cat's yelling at me. So you guys are seeing that flashing light with the battery. Yes, John, here's the cat. Oh, cool. So Steve really likes the pastel live streams. That's cool. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with what's happening. So remember what we did with the other eye? We kind of lightened the inside of the white of the eye. Let's see if we can do that before we go. I'm actually going to try it just with the pastel pencil. Yes. See how that worked? Okay, that looks not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. So, just ever so lightly. And then I'll just take a little triangle and we'll just blend that out. Yeah, the cat pulled the plugs. Hey Rick, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And Tone says, what did Tone say? How's the stick on the other side? What are you leaning on? Details and colors. So, not sure what you, I only see details and colors. Oh, the camera gives great, oh it does, yes. That's the Canon SL2. I love that camera. Bought that back in 2018. Amazing camera. See how I applied the pastel very much like I do. There we go. Then right over here. So you can do so many different things. You can even glaze with the pastel pencil if you want. You can do so much. I mean, sky's the limit with pastel. I think that's the beauty of the medium, among many other things. Just very softly, just hardly any pressure. You're just slowly lightening that value and softening that edge. So sorry about the technical issues today, everybody. But next week I should have it all pretty much set up for the pastel live stream as opposed to what's going on with the Airbrush live stream. They're going to be different. But at least the sound isn't too bad, right? That's one good thing going for us. now I can just kind of dust over everything just to smooth things out. Oh, Tone says he likes the picture better than the Sony. Oh, cool. Thank you, sir. But the Sony's amazing. And Mike DeLoach says, can pastel build up too much? It can. That's two reasons. Not knowing your pastel, not knowing the brands of pastel and how soft they are, and using them out of succession from hard to soft, and also using the wrong surface. So, you know, this is a prepared surface made especially for the way that I paint. So I don't run into that trouble too often. And then we have, oh, Colette says, Tim, she's gorgeous, thank you. And your battery is flashing. Oh, yes, it is. Hey, Mike S., how you doing? And will the model actually see the piece? I wish, but I don't think so. Raul, hey Raul, how you doing? Raul said she's coming out awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. Keeping everything soft edge. If you see a soft edge, just make sure we don't create hard edges, right? That's something we don't want to do. We don't want to create any hard edges. This right here, see how nice and hard edge that is? No, we want to soften that up. How we'll soften that up is to come in with a darker color. Wow, this battery, although it was flashing low, is giving us quite a long afterlife here. So let's see. It's going to come in with a kind of a brownish color here. Soft. If you put a color that's closer in value and chromatic value next to something, it'll automatically soften that edge. Just because I wasn't painting publicly in color, a lot of people were like, oh, Tim doesn't paint in color. And I always thought that was funny. I just sort of kept it to myself. But as you can see, I paint in color. And I'm going to come in with this kind of peachy color here, just to give me a little more sense of volume here. Put a little bit of that peachy color right over here. We'll kind of soften that edge a little bit, kind of calm down that edge. And then we want that to blend into the light color, so we can actually come in and kind of even blend that out even more by coming in with a lighter color over here. And you see how the values sort of work together edge by edge and kind of soften that really nicely. And then this value right here Oh, cool. I'm so glad you made it, my guess. Let's see. See this value here? It's a little wild, meaning it's a little dark. I mean, a light. The values are kind of too close. I mean, too far away. I'm just going to darken that a little bit. And I can glaze over in color, which is very similar to the airbrush world. You can just glaze a transparent over it, right? And I can calm that down. And then I can come in with a darker value here. Yeah, that looks better. Kind of calms that down a little bit. But I also can see that this kind of connects over here. See how that connects? You want to look for those connections. Oh, thanks there, JC. Yes, so my guess, the Pastel live stream normally is always, Saturdays at 8, and of course the Airbrush live streams are Wednesdays 9:30, both are Eastern time. And the great thing about Pastel, I could actually, whenever I want, just come in and, load pure Pastel. So the advantages are many with Pastel. Many, many, many advantages to other mediums when it comes to painting. And some people say that this is a drawing. This is by far not a drawing, not even close. And when people say that, they just don't know what they're talking about. So I'm just going to hit in some color here, some pure color, right? I'm just going to come in with pure color. Same thing over here. I'm just going to take this pastel stick, right? This kind of salmon color. I'm just going to just sort of mix the colors visually, right? Just dab that right there. Who said there were rules? I never said that. So, as you can see, we're just kind of enriching color when we want, enhancing different areas. And just the ability to be as bold as you want is really exciting. I can take this salmon color and just see what it's like there, right there on the ear. Right? I can glaze over this dark a little bit with that salmon color and bring some real life to her lip. And then I can come back in with this white, and I could start to lighten up that upper lip. If I want to, if it doesn't work, I'll just very easily just bring that down, that value down. And you see this dark here, that just doesn't work, and I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay. So that battery, although it says low, is giving us quite a bit. So once we get around 9:30, oh, we are at 9:30. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to pretty much end it here. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. It was a little bit of an interesting live stream, but we had fun nonetheless. Let me take this off so you can see pretty much what we are working with. let's see if I could put this over here on the studio. So basically, oh, I think I have it zoomed in, do I? Let's see. Alright, let's see if I could get a good view of this. Where is the light? Alright everybody, this is her so far. I think she looks better where I put her before. So, let's see where. Let's put this here. There we go. Let's see. Okay, there we are. Let's see. Just want to show you all. Okay. So that's where we are right now. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. So just kind of playing with this crazy camera. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of the night. I will talk to you on Wednesday night at 9:30, everybody. So take care.